Hey guys, it's Danconia here. Welcome back to Overcoach. So today we are going to be on board with another DPS player. This is the last of the backlog. So this is the last of the patch before Roadhog got buffed, and then we'll be looking at another patch after that, obviously with Roadhog being more powerful. This is VOD 69, so go ham in the comments. I'm sure you'll love it. We're going to be on board here with Venom slash, he's actually a Smurf of, not Smurf, that's wrong, alt account of Duplex Lamp, who is actually a very valued member of my Discord and team that I'm involved with. So he's going to be playing the Ashe. He's actually a tank player, I know that for sure. He's going to be playing the Ashe. This is high gold, low platinum on Blizzard World. And the replay viewer is still bugged when this was recorded. I don't think it is in the next one. Okay. Decent positioning so far. You're not going to shoot anything through that. You're shooting a barrier. You're shooting a barrier. And we coach get away. Okay. We want to get out of here. Focus that Zen. Nice shots. Nice shots. I want to see what you do with your dynamite, because dynamite is incredibly powerful at building Bob, right? Bob for Ashe. That was a good dynamite. You knew the Doomfist was up there, and you were straight away on him. That's good value. You're advancing too much there, though, considering that their tanks were ready to come in there. We're looking for sightlines here. We know they're pushing on the left. Do we know that Widow's on the right, though? Because she could dome us. I like you taking the high ground. I like that a lot. You know the Widow's there. Unlucky we didn't get the last shot on that one. Bit more accuracy we would have got it, but, you know. I'm not going to be too hard on that. We have a Bob available. I think we... Oh no. Oh no. Oh. I don't know how your Tracer died to that, but you kind of got caught on the terrain there, I think. When you were trying to back off away from that Diva Bomb. We should have been able to get around the corner, I think. Behind the point. And then maybe recontest with Bob. But I was and ahhing whether to tell you to contest with Bob anyway. I don't think it would have been the right move in the end. We just want to get away from this Doomfist. Oh. Our coach gun didn't come off, and I think we might have hit the bridge actually there. We had our head on the bridge. So we have everything, by the way. Just look at our ults. Look at our ults. We have everything. So we really should win the next fight. We don't really want to use everything, to be honest with you. Right, we can bob this when they push. Don't hit fire him. You can ADS. ADS is aimed down sights if I start referring to that. Bob! We could have bobbed that fight and we didn't. I don't want you to bob now though. Ooh, coach gun. Ooh, you've been helped out by your Zen there. Okay. Hold this. Use the advertising pillar on the left as cover. We're out in the open. We're out in the open. And you get caught out by a Diva Bomb. Imagine if we'd been by that advertising column there. We could have hidden behind that and shielded ourselves from the Diva Bomb. But because we were just standing in the open, we didn't have immediate cover available. So, especially when we're in sort of meta that we're in at the moment anyway, where barriers aren't exactly strong, and I'm screaming at Reinhardt players especially to do this all the time, but especially with people like us, make sure you're using the cover that's available to you. Again, you're out in the open here. Hold tight to corners and peek round them. You're making yourself much safer. Or you're putting yourself in a much safer position. Nice kill on the Tracer. We're still holding on to this Bob. We're still holding on to this Bob. We could have had another Bob by now. We could have had a Bob and a half, I would say, by now, with good dynamites. You gonna get that pick on the Ana? Nice. Nice. Really nice. Very nice indeed. Not bad shots. Not bad shots. I know you're a good Widow, actually. So, those are good shots. We take the high ground, go up on the bridge. I want you to use Bob this fight. I really want you to use Bob this fight. Okay, remember you're exposed. When they had a Lucio and a McCree up there, we needed to be careful and either retreat to the previous bridge that's behind you or just drop down. Because you were going to struggle to win that fight. You had two people focusing you down to your one. There's a... Oh, she's lucky. What is the McCree doing there? He should be punished. She's half health. Bob. We still haven't used Bob. Why is she rezzing you in spawn? Okay, we need to take... Bob! Thank you. We should have used Bob 2 fights ago. We've held on to that Bob way too long. And it's not even like, oh, I was holding it for this fight, because you would have had another Bob by now. You probably would have been on your 3rd Bob by now. Nice dynamite. You see how you're 35%, 36%, 37%? You're going to get that kill on the Ana, I would hope. 40% to another Bob now. And you used him in that fight. You're now halfway there. You see how quickly Bob builds? Providing you're doing work, providing you're hitting shots, providing you're hitting dynamites. So this is why we need to be more proactive with Bob. Use him more. Okay. Use high ground. Take high ground. Go up on the bridge. Get out. Nice. 69% on Bob for 69th Overcoach. Pog. 77. You see how quickly it builds? So we've used 1 Bob during this defense, because they are not going to hold this. We have used 1 Bob during this defense. You're going to use another one probably, because you should just throw him down. Throw Bob down. Throw Bob down. We've used 2 Bobs during this defense. I would estimate we could have used 4 to 5 Bobs during this defense. But we held on to the first Bob way too long. Way too long. I think you were looking too much for your absolutely perfect moment to use Bob. And to be quite honest, Bob is just great for stall. A lot of the time, we can just use him to be an annoyance. We can use him to distract the Reinhardt. We can use him to cause the enemy team to invest resources. To be quite honest, you could do it when you're if you've just got a, say they've just got a pick on your DPS or your off tank. You could Bob then. As long as it hits the payload, he sits on payload, they have to deal with Bob. It takes their attention slightly. It takes time off the bank. You then can operate with a bit more freedom because Bob is kind of covering you unless they sleep him or stun him, but there's no stun that lasts quite like a sleep. So sleep is the most efficient way of dealing with Bob unless you just eradicate him off the planet, which, you know, our teams tend to do. They tend to just burn through him because everyone just concentrates him down. But yeah, we could have been much more proactive with Bob there. That's what I would say. So we're going to play Ashe again, going in on the attack here. Were you practicing your aim with the bottles? Interesting. I know this is Xbox as well, so. Right. We should know they had a Widowmaker. They had a Widowmaker on defense. That's brave, 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 brave. Ooh. Dueling a Widowmaker is Ashe. It's a brave, brave. There you have a Bastion. And you're dead. The perils of going into Widowmaker is Ashe. There's trade-offs for both. So I'm not gonna. That was a very poor coach gun. And I think you know that was a very poor coach gun. Big dynamite, big dynamite. 50% to a Bob already. She's right side. We know she's right side. We're not doing anything. That was there's no value on that one. Take this position, pump some damage into that Bastion. Nice shot, nice shot, nice shot. Unlucky that we don't get the full kill on him. Throw a dynamite down there. Throw a dynamite down there. Throw a dynamite down there. Throw a dynamite. Too high. We detonated that too high. He can't actually see you because of that dead body. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Be careful, you're exposed to the Bastion. We stood still for a marginal amount of time there and the Widowmaker punished us. We have to be aware that that's going to happen when there's a Widowmaker on the enemy team. We have a Bob.
That was not in the plan.
We have a Bob. Don't think that's worth. And you gave your positioning away. Oh, well, she did have sights actually. So we should have just not peeked her. If she's got sights, we can't win that fight. We have to tap her twice. Unless we have a Mercy Pocket and hit the headshot. So she can just dome us. We don't want to do that. She's got sights. She's got every single advantage in the world. Lord, that's a bad Transcendence. So we don't want to peek her. That, however, is lovely. That's fine. Bob. 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 Use Bob. Bob. Use Bob. We used Bob too late. Could have used him much, much earlier. Could you use Bob earlier there? Right, we know where that trace come from. She's up there, she's up there. There we go. There she's there. Keep going. Whoa. Don't worry about that dynamite, she's not gonna hit it. Okay, we kind of panicked there in that duel, it felt like. And there's the game. Okay. They never got back into position with their Bastion, that kind of happens. So as soon as they lost first point, they should have switched off that Bastion. Please do that, guys. You know, don't mess your games up. So your aim, although it's not the best mechanical aim I've seen on this series, because I've seen some really good mechanical aim on console as well. It's good enough, by far good enough. Your dynamite, it tends to get good value. You are hitting decent shots. You've punished the Pharaoh. You've punished the Widowmaker consistently, pretty much. Apart from when we peeked her when she just popped sights. We don't want to do that. She knows exactly where we're coming from. She can line up the headshot along the wall, and as soon as you peek out, she's already lined up. She's taking your head off, and you're respawning. So you'll see that with Widow 1v1s in matches where the other Widow, if they've not got Infrasight to match the other Widow, then they just won't peek him if they activate Infrasight because they can't win. The other Widow has too much of an advantage. You can play the same game with Ashe. Coach Gun, I think we used it a bit weirdly at times, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes just to jump up to try and get a jumping shot like you would a grapple shot with Widowmaker. You're not going to one-shot unless it's a Tracer, and you hit headshot. So I don't think that's the best value. You're not going to kill the Widow that you were dueling at that point with that jump shot. So I don't think I would use it. Just use it from ability to get to high ground. Also use it as a get out clause. And we did use it as a get out clause on the Doomfist, except I think we hit the underneath of the bridge with our head, and the Doomfist was still within range to melt us. So that's, yeah, that happens, you know, what can you do? But ultimate usage, please use Bob quicker. Please use Bob more often. The value you're getting out of your dynamites, as I said after the defense, on that defense you got 2 Bobs. The last Bob was right at the end of the defense and, you know, probably wouldn't have had a massive impact on the outcome. But the first Bob had impact, but it should have been used 2 fights earlier, and then you would have had another Bob by that time anyway. I think if you'd maximized everything, which you were doing pretty well, I think you could have had 4 or 5 Bobs, and you only ended up having 2. So that's where I think you could really improve. Be more proactive with using Bob. Even if you're 5v6, Bob can stall long enough and cause enough of a distraction either for you to get the equalizing pick or for your teammate to come back. So, depending on the teammate it is, obviously. if it's your flex support like an Ana, and you're playing Ana Zen or Ana Lucio, yeah, let's be careful when doing that because you're not going to have the heals to sustain. But be more proactive with your Bob usage. Your positioning at times was a little bit weird. I'd like for you to not stick on the low ground as much as you were, especially on that second point. Sometimes you're on low ground and I was like, oh, we could take the bridges here, we could get up there and, you know, have a better line of sight across the whole of that second point, because it's very nice and open, that Blizzard World second point. So there's definitely stuff to work on. I can see why you're high gold, low plat, but I still think you've got a lot of potential to be high plat, if not better. So make sure we're using that Bob. Make sure we're not holding onto it for too long. And you can say that about a lot of ultimates, mind. I've seen Reinhardt's hold on to Shatter way, way, way too long when they could have had more Shatters during the time where they've held on to this one single one. A lot of times you can see it. Actually, for a matter of fact, BQB in the Overwatch League playing Sombra against the Los Angeles Valiant on the last map, I think it was Gibraltar, he was not using his EMP. And he could have had multiple EMPs during a time in which he'd used a EMP, and it kind of cost the Mayhem. So they do it at all levels of the game. It's not something that's uncommon. I just would say be more, especially with Bob, because Bob is very fast building in the right scenario, and it really was there. He's very fast building, and he's great at just taking space and giving you time on payload, and giving you time either to get a respawn in after a pick or helping cause chaos to get that equalizing pick. So be more proactive with using Bob. That is my main takeaway from that. Apart from that, you've got decent mechanical aim, and I think your dynamite usage has been really good. I've been impressed with that dynamite usage. You've been getting value out of it a lot of the time, and that's why we've seen the opportunity to get more Bobs than I think we did. But I'm going to leave it here for this one. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.